So far we have discussed and used programming with the C language. Although this language is often used for Windows programming, the object-oriented language C++, derived from C, is becoming more and more popular because of its expression power. In this chapter we see what tools have been provided for C++ programmers in Eantime. There are two questions to be answered here. Why do we support C++? Given the popularity of C++ as a programming tool for Windows applications, it makes perfect sense to consider C++ for real-time programs as well. Although the Windows environment is much more complex than RT, functionality such as COM can hardly be used without proper C++ support. There are many situations where supporting C++ classes would make the programmer's life easier. Why create another framework? Many applications contain similar code, such as cataloging the process name, dealing with process termination, etc. A framework can hide much of this repetitive code while still allowing customization. Windows has its Microsoft Foundation Classes or MFC, a framework for developing Windows applications. A major share of it consists of user interface classes. In Eantime we do not have this user interface, but instead we have specific real-time functions like interrupt handling and mailboxes. Eantime includes full C++ support in its runtime environment, including the standard template library or STL. Support for Boost and TR1 can be added from the available open source packages. When using C++, you can write your own classes. In addition, Eantime provides a class framework that has the same structure as the MFC framework, although naturally the user interface classes are not present in Eantime. For example, the class CI thread implements a generic thread, with functions like init instance, do forever, and exit instance. The derived class CI data MBX thread provides overruled functions that create a data mailbox and catalog it, wait for incoming messages and, at thread end, delete the mailbox and uncatalog it. It provides a new onReceive function. The C++ language definition includes the grammar of the C++ programming language, but also defined a standard library. Part of that definition is the standard template library, that uses templates to get small code support for very general classes. The sample code shows use of the vector template, a container class that allows adding to, and removing in, an ordered list of objects. The Eantime class framework provides classes for communication objects, threads and applications. Not shown here are classes for low-level objects and interrupt handling. Some general rules are: every application should have a class derived from CIApp and exactly one global instance of that class must exist. The communication object classes will typically be used as is. The thread classes are intended for derivation to customize a part of the class behavior. When creating an instance of a class, the constructor of the object only allocates the necessary memory and initializes the object to an empty state. The create function, with class-dependent parameters, can be used to create an Eantime object. Lookup or assignment can be used to connect to an existing Eantime object. The destructor for an object deletes the corresponding Eantime object only if the object had created it in the first place. Note, you do not have to use the RT framework when programming in C++. You can also work with the standard main function and have your own classes. This is an example of a class, derived from CI data MBX thread. When created, a new Eantime thread is created, which itself creates a data mailbox and catalogs it with the name server1. Every time a message is received, the function onReceive is called to deal with the message. All further housekeeping, including deleting the data mailbox and removing it from the object directory, is done by the base class. Creating an Eantime C++ application is easiest done by using the Eantime application wizard, as it sets up a project with the proper settings. All options are the same for C and C++. In the wizard's project type page, you can select the programming language. Using C++ and the RT framework offers another tool, the Eantime C++ wizard add-in, can be used after wizard generation to modify, add, or remove elements from an existing program. Operation of the add-in is similar to that of the wizard. The add-in only works for projects that use the RT framework and have been generated by the Eantime application wizard, full-featured project type.